and you can see like the, oh yeah, sorry. And the opening is quite large, as you can see, like compared with other window openings to the sides. So yeah, triple glaze, I think that would be a lot better in this case. And then for here, I'm not really sure like what type of like space conditioning properties, because I think for this case would more related to the electrical kind of system stuff.
Yeah, that's if you click on the new and then go into the actual library, we're doing it's a grab source. If you go back.
Oh,
okay. Cancel real quick.
Yep.
And then equipment, I think it was, or maybe the one above Stacy, the library. So it should be ground source.
Okay.
And then I would honestly just go with 5 tons for now. But again, that's the sizing, like the 5 tons is basically dependent on how much heating and cooling requirements we have. That's according to like the Climate Studio stuff.
Yeah, sure. Then
you just leave that there.
Okay, yeah, maybe I just keep moving on.
Yeah.
Just leave it here. And then for this one, I think
it's similar. It's going to be dependent on like the sizing.
Maybe we can discuss it after that. And then for this one, I think it's also kind of related to the systems. Yeah. So yeah, it really depends on like other inputs from like you guys, and and then for this one as well, since I think like you have kind of like calculated like the amounts of like electrical appliances needed. So yeah, and the remaining stuff is more like an EVAC kind of system. So I didn't put that info into it, but yeah, but that's I think at least for this program, the walls and the windows are like what we kind of inputted. And then so Jared, if you want to combine these set of information to yours, I think I put it in under the shared doc. Let's see. Yeah, I uploaded here, so you can grab through the shared doc folder. And I'm not sure like how the import of the information works for this software, but yeah, you can try and see if that really makes sense. If not, then I will try to make an Excel list for you to put all the infos at once. Yeah.
Jared, maybe can you hear me, Jared?
Yeah, I can hear you kind of. Yeah.
If you can right now, like pull up that file and see if all the information that you inputted transfers into your software.
Yeah, for sure. Access to drivers.
Let me see if I kind of like. Okay.
Jared, go ahead and talk now.
Oh, I'm opening it up right now. It's under shared docs.
I'm not really sure what's going on for the mic.
Is it showing when Jared talks? Like, is that...
Yeah, I think it's.
I'm downloading. I'm pulling up RemRate right now.
Yeah, can you like?
You wanna try to or like turn on your.
Hey, can y'all hear me? Hello? Hey, can y'all hear me? I can't hear y'all, but I'm gonna try and open up the files that Hayden was talking about. See if it comes through.
Yeah, I think that those values, especially with the windows and the walls, are like the most important in kind of determining the stuff related to the building envelope. And I think for parameters, if Jared, if you can hear me, like any of the other parameters, like other things we can just kind of estimate for now if we need to, for sake of like not having as much time before the semifinals, like we can make some of those values estimations and come back to them later and just say that like we're gonna continue to like work on the design. And that's kind of what the cool thing about like using Climate Studio or using the software is, like you get an idea of how we're scoring, and then like in the coming like month and a half or whatever until the final competition, like we should be able to still make like just tweaks with not the design itself, but like the or not like the building design itself, but like all the material properties and like all the other components to like try and make us as close to zero energy or lower her score or whatever. But this is awesome, so thank you.
So while I guess Jared is still processing with the files, maybe we can start to kind of see like what kind of stuff that we can update or include in the slides. Should we do that?
Do we have a template for the presentation, or we started one?
Yeah, I think they provide one. So we can-
They do.
You mean the slides or just the project summary? I think there's there's a template for the summary, but I don't think there is one for the slides. It really depends like what we want to present. So
Maybe we I can go ahead and start one in the shared docs folder, or unless you want to.
yeah, maybe I can just create one.
And let's
right
just
away.
pick we can just pick a few now.
So I guess since we have like 8 minutes of presentation, so I guess maybe one page, 1 minute per page would be pretty enough, right?
Yeah.
But I just have like a concern, like how much information that do they expect us to show given with a very limited time, as well as like I read through the project summary for like the last submission, and it's kind of like short and it's pretty like a kind of summary condensed information. So I'm not really sure what they really want us to.
I think that we didn't have a lot of those kinds of specifications of like material properties or systems, like more details on the systems that we're implementing. Maybe change we could pick a theme too, by the way. I don't know what like everyone prefers. But I think that including some of those like those kinds of details that show the progress that we've made in terms of like how the building's actually going to function are things that like what weren't included in the last project summary that like should be included in this. I think if we like take 2 slides per like kind of sub team or whatever, and just like put in different information, or 2 or 3 slides or whatever for each sub team, and then we also on top of that just put like at the end like a couple of like action items or like things that we're planning on doing in the future for like the before like the final competition. I think is like pretty sufficient. Like I can't imagine that they're really like looking for like hard like details or anything like yet. I think we just need to show that we've like made progress since last time.
I can read out the exact evaluation criteria. They are effectiveness is the project summary and conveying salient points of the project, discussing design goals, discussing target market, building occupant, impact on design constraints, discussing local climate and impact on related building science and design strategies, discussion of building code constraints, impact on design strategies, plan for submitting final design and submission deliverables, compliance with rules, other factors such as geographic location and tech choice.
I think at least for this presentation, I think we can kind of, what I've kind of a rough framework in my mind is like, we can discuss the site we picked, and then the kind of main idea that's driven for the, like the design, like let's say the mixture of modules and wall slabs, and then we can go down a little bit detail, like with the kind of the mechanical system that we kind of adopt, and then yeah, that's what I've been thinking that we can kind of talk about. Cool. And that would be like even be better, like if we can somehow give like a comparison in terms of like performance or the like a per score kind of parameters that they can show, oh, we actually kind of make some improvements in figures that they can have like a very solid idea and grasp for what we are going to achieve.
Yeah, we could just show current HERS score and like some planned adjustments.
Yeah. I think we also should go into Climate Studio. Have you had a chance to kind of like play around with it?
Yeah, so I did do a few different studies. Having some problem with it crashing. So I mean, I sent like a tech request thing, but I got the radiation for the solar panels. Done like the site analysis, basic like sun map and wind and stuff like that. I did a little bit of daylighting, and I'm working on the thermal model.
Okay. Yeah, because the other like value that'll be pretty important is the EUI, which is the energy use intensity. It's like a measurement of just like how much energy we're using over a year. And because there's a table in the design, the rules kind of, or like the outline, project design outline or whatever, that gives us like a target score according to our climate. So if we can, you want to pull up Rhino and see if we can like,
Yeah. So
kind of like go into Climate Studio.
Screen or the model, or
Yeah, I do it through Zoom.
okay.
Let me log this.
So were you using like the some of like the Grasshopper workflow stuff?
I wasn't fully going into Grasshopper. I was just using a workflow right now. Which Zoom link are you using?
Or Zoom.
Show a Google Meet link.
Yeah, maybe you can check from the Zoom. I'm not sure. They just come out.
While we're waiting, I just want to ask a question. Have you guys ever seen Andre, Kenneth Jong, and
I think I'm
Fakio doing this?
maybe letting.
Okay.
Takeo said he cannot come. So is Andre, he's traveling.
Okay.
Not sure about Kenneth.
Kenneth was also team A, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I need the,
That might be Max. You might have to make a graphic co-host or change the screen sharing. options.
Oh, no, I.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You took more.
Okay.
yeah, so here is the Rhino file.
Oh, Hayden, can you stop sharing your screen?
Yeah.
Do you want to use the mic at your laptop so
Oh, I
that
do-
Jerry
yeah.
can hear better?
Yeah, I can do that. On. Okay. Yeah, here's the Rhino file. So this is the building. And so like what you do is you kind of place these sensors and then collect data. So like these are the sensors for like the solar panels. And then if you look in, well, because I'm in a different simulation, but I placed some sensors on like the first floor when I was doing the daylighting analysis. The way the thermal analysis seems to work, I've been following like a tutorial on it, but essentially you have to make all these zones in the building based on like the usages. So I'm not 100% sure if we should divide up by rooms or just divide up by apartments. These are generally, I think, for larger buildings. It notes that these are these like kind of interior and exterior and shading zones. So like the interior is like this core zone and the exterior like these kind of.
I think we can do 5 units.
Yeah, I mean, because they're probably going to be pretty open on the inside, so
Yeah, I think you should do it by units.
they'll share enough air to kind of even out in terms of heating.
Yeah.
So I have to go through and finish like modeling out all these internal volumes because you have to basically make like separate geometry. You can't just feed in the geometry you have. You have to specify like glazing material. So now that we know it's going to be some sort of double glazing, I can enter that in. In terms of shading, we haven't talked about this. Like we have that big roof, but there are some windows exposed on the southern side of the model.
So
These ones here. I think there might be.
we haven't like really addressed like what kind of like shading devices for like kind of like to cover or like deal with these openings, but
Also haven't added windows to the other two floors, so I would have to go around and do that. But essentially these windows on the southern side are going to be receiving, I think, a fair amount of direct sun, which would be an issue in the summer.
I feel like the even more prominent issue is like this western side because like it's facing the street, which kind of have like a large amount of windows, but at the same time, like the south facing facade usually has like the most intensive like heat gain because of
Right, but you think the issue is the western side?
yes.
Why?
Yes, because like the southern side from here you can see there are only like 2 or like 4.
Well, there's windows on every floor. I only modeled the top floor.
Like, but the area that's kind of facing towards the south is much less than the west facing side. Well, I'm pretty sure like a larger proportion of openings are facing west. So
Okay. So Grasshopper, what it does is once you have your model and your zone sort of assigned, they have different workflows that are built in that ideally we can just take the zones and kind of the stuff that you do and basically plug in like plug in the building almost like into the workflows that they've already created. And like, that's basically going to be the way that we can get a bunch of like this data. Just because in my mind, like hearing what we were talking about with like the actual project requirements and just like thinking about how extensive like this really is going to be, like we are probably going to have to like spend more time going through this because like, you know, you would have to finish all the zoning and then we'd have to go back in and yeah. So if you scroll up a little bit more, that right there basically is like if you look, it says like templates, like those are basically all of these different like type of analyses that they have built into the software. So that you can, you should be able to just like plug in your model to it. But maybe this isn't something that we can necessarily get by Tuesday, which would be okay. And we can just say like, we're still working on, like we're working through Climate Studio and like estimating, or like all of these are like our kind of like efficiency or like kind of like the measures that we're taking to lower the EUI to like bring the HERS score down as much as possible or whatever. But like our like official analysis is like still underway. And then like, you know, that kind of just gives us like a little bit more time, like over the next couple of weeks to like make sure that like we have, you know, the right data that we're going to put in here. Because we have like a pretty good direction of like the numbers that we need, and like finding those numbers kind of like entails like, you know, all different sub teams, you know, making bigger strides in terms of like different systems or materials or whatever. So maybe we kind of like, because it'd be a ton of work to try and like get this.
Usually
you know.
Grasshopper is just a lot more involved than Rhino because it's more of like a visual programming system. So I don't know exactly how complicated it is, but from stuff I've seen before, it's generally like you have to hook up like parts of the building.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
It's just gonna be more difficult than running the
Right.
base simulations.
Right.
Can you guys finish 2 big pepperoni pizzas or just one is probably enough? It's very big, you know, the one that we used to have with big chest. It's like a very big one, like it covers the entire table.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
One's probably
Yeah,
fine.
maybe one is enough.
Okay, cool. Yeah, one is not hard one.
So yeah, I think that we are going to need, like, we're going to have to use the workflow templates from Grasshopper. I watched all those videos and that, like the tutorials, and it should be pretty straightforward to like, they give you like a shoebox model, and then like they're basically just plugging that into like this template workflow. So I think what we would have to do is basically just like take our model and like plug it into the template workflow instead. And then we should be able to get the numbers that we need.
Yeah.
But again, like, I just don't think that it's something that we'll be able to get by like Tuesday. Like, it's just not realistic, which is okay. I think it's
I think I could run maybe the base Rhino one. Might be doable. But yeah, I don't know about the Grasshopper. Like you're talking about these videos that they provide.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you scroll down just a little bit, which one is it? Yeah. So just doing like the thermal modeling and Energy Plus is kind of like the stuff that I was talking about.
This one?
Yeah, that, and then these two are like longer videos that walk through that like daylighting and like energy modeling through Grasshopper. So they're like both like an hour long, but if you put it on 1.25 speed, it's still pretty comprehensive. But what they do is kind of just like walk through like using that interface. Like, and I think that like we could totally just take the templates that they like provide us and then like plug in the model. But that just, the big things are like having all the windows and like having this, like you basically like you assign them to like zones, right? That's kind of how it works.
Yeah. I mean, I think I can maybe give the base thermal analysis just in Rhino a crack. I don't think I'm able to get to the Grasshopper at all.
Yeah, that's totally
Or
cool.
maybe you can throw this Rhino model to me, and then I can like furnish like all the windows and stuff, and let's see like yeah, maybe both of us can try together to see that if like how far we can get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely don't stress about like getting the Grasshopper plugin. I think maybe like in these next couple of weeks, like when we come in here, like I think we should take some time to like.
Yeah, I have. It's
I think going through and like trying to just like figure out that software together would be something that would be pretty beneficial.
it's one of these.
Yeah, you just maybe you can upload it and then
I'll
try it.
I'll re-upload it to the working right.
And Jared, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. So maybe kind of like similar to like this Climate Studio stuff, maybe we like for any of the data that is still kind of like TBD with for the HER score, we can just qualify a number that we can get with just like saying like, oh, some of the information was like just estimated based off of like, you know, where we think we're kind of headed. This is the HER score that we have right now, and like we're gonna work to lower it or whatever. But maybe you and I can go through Hayden's like what he's put in so far and just see like what we can like, I guess, like sort of fill in for now to try and get a number, if you're down for that.
Yeah, regarding like the specific software.
I don't know if he's talking, but
Yeah, can you hear me?
oh yeah, wait. Can someone put on their sound?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
All right, awesome. So basically with the REM rate, I noticed that when we met previously, I was in the detailed inputs. It was my understanding, because REM rate has like the simplified inputs, which is, you know, way less inputs you have to put in to get the score versus detailed inputs, which have like go into more detail, and, you know, thus, you know, might include a lot of unknowns that we currently don't know about. When I tried to get the file that Hayden put on Google Drive, I noticed that he started off in the simplified inputs, which has way more less, well, not way more, but has considerably less, you know, parameters you have to put in. I tried transferring it to detailed inputs, but I think what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to just use Hayden's, since the one that we were working on, we didn't put anything too crazy. We didn't go into detail with the other components yet, you know, so those can be easy transfer. So I think we can try the simplified inputs first, and see how that goes. And then, you know, try and get that as, you know, complete as possible. And then, even though REM rate in the help section said that, you know, simplified inputs would be good for, you know, for like an existing home or whatever. But I think, you know, it would be a good idea to start off with the simplified inputs. And then, you know, once we have that, try and go over to the detailed inputs to see if we can add on some extra stuff. Because the detailed inputs one has some assumptions baked into it, which is why it requires less parameters. You know, so I think I'm going to start with that, just piggyback off of Hayden's file and just add on to that and see where we go from there. But yeah, we can definitely meet and kind of you know, because we still have to get the specifics regarding the parameters for like the duct system and all of that
Right.
stuff. So yeah. I mean, it would be great if we can get to the detailed inputs, because the webinar that was shown in Heat Spring during the 2019 design challenge, the presenter had it in the detailed inputs and she was going through like each one of those. So it might be beneficial to start off with simplified, but then try and go to detailed, you know,
Yeah.
so either way, hopefully we can get a her score either way.
Totally.
That is pretty accurate.
Awesome. Yeah. So a lot of the kind of some of the information that that like we need from for engineering B, like related to sizing, is just going to come with us getting some of these values from like Rhino and Climate Studio. So I think that we are still making, you know, good progress.
I did enter in some of the values you asked for from Arch. You asked for the condition floor area, so
Yeah, so that's for the her score, like the rim rate software. That was in like the detailed inputs where they just asked for like the
yeah. So I've got that. You said unit specs. I don't know exactly what that is.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't remember why I put that either. But
Okay, number of bedrooms.
Yeah.
you have 20 bedrooms, right?
yeah, so it was kind of just I'd have to look back at the detailed inputs. But I think it was just asking, when I put like unit specs, I think it was just like asking like about like a couple of other details in the actual like parameters that we would input for like just like related to the unit size or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but if it's not in
What
the
was,
simplified
what
inputs,
was your
maybe
question?
just don't worry about it right now. It's kind of just dependent on
Oh, sure.
on like what's shown there. But at some point when we go through the detailed inputs together, like maybe taking like either next GM or like in whenever in like the next couple of weeks, like when we have this group like this and like Jared back too and others, doing what we did Wednesday with like everyone, and just like, because that was kind of like high level, we sort of like sped through it, but then we can like really narrow down and be like, okay, like what does each sub team like need to go find? Because like it's kind of nice that finding out the score kind of tells us what each team should know about like their systems in the building. But yeah, so maybe just like TBD with that.
Max, do you remember where exactly the project summary template was available?
Yeah, it's in the project site. I mean, it's right on the third aisle of the menu list on the left.
On the homepage? Is there challenges? Design challenge?
It's more of like, I can show you from a computer. Yeah. It's basically basically it's the login. The login, yeah. I don't know. There are very specific.
I was gonna think we should go through the project summary template and start trying to fill that out.
You want to share screen that?
Yeah, one sec. Okay. Here it is in Word. We obviously did do some of this already, so we can take from our previous template, but it still is a 2-page submission, so
Oh, really?
it's not like we can pack a ton of info. I mean, obviously there's gonna be more info on the slides as well.
I think the more important thing that we have to like fill out is like the data slides. No, sorry, the data section. Like you can see like energy performance and then like tons of like, yeah, numbers and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So hopefully for the
At least we have to like fill these up and kind of present them.
I think our previous summary is in our drive, right? Is it under PM?
Yeah.
So we're climate zone 3B. 3C. 3C.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's
Okay, we gotta update that.
Yeah. Okay. Some of the energy performance stuff.
I think for the R values, like I post a link on Miro. Can you go on Miro?
Yeah.
I think it's over the left. Yeah, there's like this one. There's like an energy code installation and stuff. So what I kind of input for the HerScore software, it's kind of like based on data and figures I provided here. So you can scroll down maybe into the middle part of this document. Yeah, so like somewhere in this document, like there's like a several like I think you have to keep scrolling down. Yeah, because it's non-residential. Yeah, somewhere over here. Yes, like starting from here, like you can see there's like different kind of like limitations. So yeah, these I think we can at least fill these figures, so to say. We're trying like to make it more sensible instead of like still having a very fake.
Yeah, I mean, these are going to be the code minimum requirements.
Yeah, then we just put those for the sake of like giving a more realistic figures, because from the previous project summary, I could see like some values are kind of like unrealistic, like the walls with 11. Is it 11? Which is kind of like drastic
For you factor?
I forget, but like anyway, even no matter if R or
Yeah, U factors like in like decimals.
Yeah, I don't think
it says 11.
yeah, I saw there's like one figure is in 11, which is kind of crazy. Then yeah,
I would have thought the design partner would have pointed that out if we'd been drastically off.
yeah,
And then we need to reach out to Adriana.
yeah, 22. Yeah, it's way way lot.
I mean, you can get R values that high.
Oh, really?
It's like the combined.
Oh.
All the materials.
I guess I mixed it up.
The
Yeah,
U value is the one over the R value. It's like a reciprocal, and it's for the whole assembly.
like yeah, but sure we can update these figures. Anyways,
I mean, if we after we get our more profiles and the for assemblies, we can like put up a square an Excel sheet and add up all of our values. And then we're gonna get the R values. The thing about the foundation is we have like two different types of foundation. One is a wasteful at the cross space, and one is a flat one grade. So I'm just wondering, like, what values we put for our foundation, or do we just use like an app? And all values for the two types of foundation.
That's an average.
Yeah.
Or like average of the area, you know. The
Yeah,
average.
the weighted average.
Since we have already kind of like demarcated the areas we need from the plants.
Should we try and figure out a final assembly for the different components?
I think the sense about intelligibility.
Yes.
Like once you put on the wall, so
Yes.
and then like on a section of the wall, like they know like what comes or what's on the exterior, and what goes inside. It's like a really cool. You see. The difference is like it's up to you whatever you. Just like 2D section.
Right. I remember when we were talking with plant prefab, we were talking about 2x6 walls, right? But with no exterior insulation, 2x6 stud wall, with like I think it was just drywall on the inside and some sort of cladding on the outside.
Yeah.
So pretty basic. Could we just go with something like that? In terms of the final materials,
So because I left like the material selection to Ellen for the most part, so I kind of like yeah, maybe he has to like give a more kind of precise.
I don't think we want to clad the whole thing in wood either.
No. Yeah, it really depends. I think it's more like an aesthetical concern or like consideration. Yeah. So
Yeah, Alan, you want to talk about that?
yeah, I kind of like told him to to give some more images about like the textures and materials that we would like to use.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we'd also mentioned like concrete fiberboard, that stuff
You mean for
for cladding as an option, just as like a high durability option.
Alan was doing the project the entire morning, so probably that's exactly this.
Yeah, fiber cement. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. I think we just want to try and find like a supplier that had a lower environmental impact because it is cement. But yeah, it's like really solid and it is used in a lot of like affordable housing projects.
yeah.
I mean, it can come in like this kind of lapboard siding, so you can't really tell the difference. But it's more obvious when it's in larger panels like this. But I mean, we could just do something like horizontal or vertical, and have it actually be fiber cement instead of. But
I think we can like put this based on the renderings we have, like a kind of like wooden style or like an orangey like envelope. But yeah, sure, the more details we have, the better like images we can put onto the slides in the project summary. So
Is there any way to put the project summary in Google Drive so that we could like all work on it?
Yeah, is Word good for everyone? Can I just upload it as a Word file, Word document?
And I think like it
Or does
was
it need to be a Google Doc?
Was it
We just
PM
won't be able to
team?
edit it like individually.
I'll try and convert it over.
Yeah, because as I know, like the previous one that we submitted is kind of like composed by the PM team. So I guess like it would be good if like PM team can continue like handling the stuff with our additional input, just to make sure like it won't get kind of like contradicted, because like not all of us have like assessed this document before. So yeah, just to make sure everyone knows what we're going on and nothing kind of contradicts and overlaps.
I'll put it in here.
Gavin, did you report the meeting last time?
No.
Who was it?
It might have been Oliver.
Was it you? I asked Oliver already. Was it
Yeah, in fact, I hear somebody hit the recording button, so I thought it was like somebody else.
it wasn't me. I was checking your file. Right now. And also, are all of us going to be in this room? Going to be, including Jared and Helen, going to be the presenters for the on 26th?
You mean next Saturday?
Yeah, next Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I just the calculation. I mean, there's 8 of us, and I'm the 9th, so I can just do a quick intro, and you guys can go on with the presentation, I guess.
And make sure, or I think like before Saturday, maybe let's say Friday night or something, maybe we can kind of I don't know, like meeting up in person or virtually, but just make sure we kind of like rehearse or the kind of practice and ran through everything before.
Exactly.
But I guess we have to present the same set of slides that we submit. We are going to submit on Tuesday.
So we can transfer after Tuesday after 2 p.m. because it's written as 5 p.m. in EST, so it's 2 p.m. in PST for submission. So basically, it's better to submit on Monday for all of us. And I also talked to Todd where he'll be happy and available to like listen to our presentation. See how it goes.
I don't think it's.
I get a lemon. It's okay.
He'll be able to help us out though, which will actually be good. I'm not crazy excited about either, but we'll get there.
We get it there. Get it.
What do you guys think? He's just gonna like flame us or like?
No, I just mean the presentation. Todd's fine.
Nothing.
Is there like a format for?
Okay,
like,
so
oh, wait,
Jared's saying
Jared's talking right now.
Who has to speak?
Oh, my bad. Is there like a list of things or like a template or format for the presentation itself? Like, do we need like representation from like each team to maybe kind of like expound upon like certain systems or things like that? Like, do we have like a? Okay.
I think I think we I kind of like created a PowerPoint like Google slide in the Keflon folder. So I kind of like put up some like main titles of each slide. So yeah, like every one of us are free to like change or add anything accordingly. And if you think there is something missing, of course you can add it. But I think like since we only have 8 minutes to present, yeah, so just make sure everything is very concise and precise.
For sure. Yeah. And also, well, yeah, okay, that's pretty much it. If you do make the project summary or Google Doc, those who aren't immediately working on it, there is an option for them to like offer suggestions and stuff like that. If you're worried that kind of like the formatting or the flow of it might be a little bit, with too many people editing it at once, they could make suggestions on it. Especially if it's, something in regards to like a particular competition area, like in that sub-team specialty, that's just something that I wanted to point out. But yeah, is that PowerPoint in the drive as well, or?
Yes. It's in. Let me hold on. I think it's in like the main folder. It's not in under the shared doc subfolder. Like when you go back like to the heading with like
Directly under solar detail.
Yeah, it's in the main one. Okay.
yeah, it's in the main one.
Should we keep that together with the project summary in the PM folder?
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
I'll move it over. Yeah, if everyone can just like start filling out both of those, that'd be awesome. Obviously, like the main thing I think is getting all that technical info for the project summary, just the revised version, like the HERS score. We will get a rendering together, do the design strategies.
Yeah, like
I will do the thermal model.
Yeah, I would like put continue like making the model like to put everything together. Maybe yeah, for the coming hours, then I think I can do it because yeah, I have the the CAD files and stuff, and I can give it back to you, and then both of us can work together, like to let's say you do the thermal part, I do the other parts that I haven't explored like the climate studio yet, but yeah, I can try. Yeah, to produce as much kind of informative big diagrams as possible. Yeah, just to build up stuff.
Yeah, need some slide diagrams.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we have Monday off as
Oh,
well.
Jared's,
so
Jared's
that's-
talking.
Oh, I was just mentioning that I think we all have like the 3-day weekend on Monday. So that is an option for like a work day, depending on people's availability, if you want to like collaborate on more of the technical stuff. But yeah.
But just want to make sure like is there like a, I don't know, like the the deadline on Tuesday is like the midnight of
It's
Tuesday.
2 p.m. PST.
Oh,
5 p.m. and EST, but PST is here.
okay, yeah.
2 p.m. this Tuesday, submit everything.
Okay, just wanna see like the final deadline time on that day, just to make sure we didn't miss it.
We'll get it done.
Yeah, some ways. Okay.
Yeah, I guess everyone be available this weekend on Discord would be my advice, because I'm
Yeah,
sure we're gonna be
sure.
asking each other for stuff.
Usually available Sunday. To
Yeah.
Like another picnic tomorrow and then rehearsal on Monday, is that what you're saying?
Tax update on Sunday, and then Monday, we're doing like a virtual meeting, or we can.
call to Monday.
Aren't they
Yeah,
supposed?
to
I
Tuesday.
think
It's all
I think
due on
they
the
share
same
the
day.
same.
All due on the same day.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's just that the presentation is on 26th, but everything, I think they're going to use the thing that was uploaded on Tuesday, to be the one that is presented on Saturday, which is 9 a.m. just to reassure everyone. It's a bit early, and probably after 9 a.m. I don't think we will be having another meeting at 10 or 11.
Yeah, no, we're just, yeah. I think we're kind of done at this moment after the presentation on Saturday.
Yeah,
Wait until they're
they
like
come and yeah,
follow up.
exactly.
Cool.
But honestly, guys, just honestly don't get too nervous, because the starting was in the team last year, right?
Yeah.
And the performance that we have for this year is
I mean, I think we can only do better than like we're already like ahead of where we were last year.
yeah, even ahead of our final submission for last year.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
ended up having to jump ship because we like couldn't get in like the project, like the final project. But I like where we're at more this year.
Of course.
We definitely, it was like it was a lot of Tomas just carrying, and then he got busy, so
Yeah.
he got busy, so it just kind of fell apart. But yeah. So next.
Oh, Arrow's bringing up right now.
What?
She's walking up to you.
Oh, no way.
Pizza. I asked if she needs help. She said she doesn't need help, so like, hopefully she's fine. It's a big pizza. It's super big, yeah.
It's huge.
My local place used to have one called a King Kong, and that's what every high school ordered. Well, like the size of the back of your hatchback. It's like, you know, the type of car where it's a hatch instead of a trunk.
Oh, okay.
Like any SUV car has like a hatchback, or it's like a, is it like those doors that like pop out or whatever?
Oh, it's just it's like a yeah, vertical opening door
Yeah.
instead of a trunk. Actually, it's just type of vehicle. Sorry, it's a bit of a messy file.
No, it's okay. Just trying
Oh,
Or higher, depending on the value of
Basically, what I've done is I modeled each of the units as blocks, and I placed them, and I tried to
Okay.
add the surrounding like floor and everything else.
I saw, but yeah, just hard hit it for better. Oh. So we just research is very useful here.
Yeah, I probably have a ton of
We're using the value
unused geometry or something.
No, I just want to like realign things again, and then
Is everything good?
Yeah, I think we're just winding down, Jared.
Okay, cool. If all heart and minds are clear, I guess we can end the recording, and I'll be heading out. I'll let y'all enjoy your pizza and everything.
Wish you were here, man. But yeah, good luck this weekend. We'll meet again tomorrow. Or yeah,
Tomorrow or Monday?
Monday. Sorry, but like work in the sub teams tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right, for sure. All right, take care, y'all.
Cool.
Later, Jared. Maybe stop the recording.
am I doing the recording?